What's up everyone, how's it going? So this is going to be a bit of a different video, as you can probably tell from the title. By the way, what's going on in the background, let me turn that down for a start, because I do not want that to be too distracting. It's just so I have something in the background, and also because this is my alternate file, so you're not going to be spoiled on anything when it comes to the playthrough of Sekiro. But where the hell am I going? Yeah, okay, we are going this way. So, I want to practice the Guardian Ape, by the way, for the playthrough, so that's what I'm going to be doing here whilst I'm talking. So, I want to talk... Oh, I did kill this thing. So, I want to talk a little bit about depression today. So, this is going to be a very heavy topic, so perhaps you are not inclined to listen to this or in the right frame of mind or whatever, and that's completely understandable. So this is your warning that that's the type of thing that I'm going to be talking about. But again, that should be very obvious from the title, though obviously I haven't made the title yet, so I don't know, but I would imagine so. So, like, for a moment I thought I was streaming, and I was like, oh my god, please tell me I'm not. Not that streaming is a bad thing, but man, if I streamed this by mistake, that would be really awkward, at least, you know, because I wouldn't know that I was streaming. Anyway, so, yes, going to be talking about depression. Fucking hell. Going to be talking about depression today, and the reason for that is because I am someone that I've come... Oh god, game, what are you doing? I've come to realize over the last sort of, I guess, couple of years, but mostly the last sort of year and a half, that I really do suffer with depression. Now, I never really realized that before, and to be honest with you, I'm not even sure if there are very specific things that trigger it. There definitely are sometimes, but I think sometimes I just go through phases where I just feel really down. And I'm not one of those people where, fortunately, I'm not one of those people where depression makes me feel suicidal or anything like that. It's never gotten to that point where I've been like, I should take my life, you know? And thankfully, because I'm just not that type of person, I suppose. It's not that type of depression for me. It's not the sort of depression where some people feel like there's just no way out and there's no hope or anything like that. It's the sort of... I do apologize, by the way. I don't know why the game's chugging, but whatever. Yeah, it's not that type of depression. It's the type of depression where I just feel sad. You know, like, just not like suicidal, not like everything is hopeless, just fucking miserable. You know, I really don't know how else to describe it. And like I say, there's definitely sometimes things that trigger that, like... so I'm going to talk about my relationship with my ex-girlfriend. I'm going to keep details and things like that private for obvious reasons, but... Hang on, let me destroy these things. These are going to be really distracting otherwise. Mother effer. Yo, if I die like I do like this, what hope do I stand in my attempt at not dying all the time in my other one? Anyway, so yeah, I'm going to talk about my relationship with my ex-girlfriend and how that sort of sent me into a really bad spiral of depression. And the fact that even before I was with her, I was also going through some serious depression. So, and honestly, I think it had some really negative impact on my channel, which is... it's very unfortunate. You know, it's one of those things where you should be able to be depressed and have people understand, but I think, honestly, lots of people just didn't know. So that's partly why I guess I'm talking about this. And the reason I'm talking about this now is, and I've been meaning to do this for quite a few weeks now, but I am not depressed right now. And this is why I feel like I can talk about that, talk about depression. Because when you're going through that, it's kind of the last thing you want to talk about. At least for me. So, give me a second to gather my thoughts. Okay, so yeah, I think it had some really negative impact on my channel. I think... for a decent period of time, my commentary, particularly on my streams, but just my commentary in general, got really bad. Because of the depression, I was just sad. You know, I couldn't really enjoy anything I was doing in video games or anything like that. The most prominent example for that, if you really want to go back and have a look, I would say is the God of War playthrough. God of War was a great game, but I was probably at the peak of my depression, or the pit of my depression, whatever way you want to look at it or phrase it. That was probably the very worst it got for me. Hello, why are you here? Get out of my face. Yeah, so I think basically the entire God of War playthrough, I was massively depressed. And God of War was a great game, and it was really enjoyable. I really did enjoy that game, but I was very sad during that entire playthrough. And I think that was very, very evident, or at least maybe not evident that it was depression or that I was sad or anything like that, but it was very evident in the results. I think that's one of the worst playthroughs I've ever done, perhaps the worst playthrough I've ever done, because my commentary went to shit. I had a very short fuse. I was just very, easily agitated. There was, at one point, I remember I blew up on someone on stream. Now, in one way, I'm saying I did overreact, because I did, but in the other way, I've always hated rude people, and this guy was being very rude. You know, it was one of those situations where, like, I'm struggling with the game, fighting something, doing, like, some really tough stuff, or I got lost or something like that. And this guy was just, like, he was really pushing my buttons. I think he just kept calling me an idiot or something like that. And I think I basically just turned around and said, like, don't do that. But I said it in, like, such a stern... Oh, dear. I said it in such a stern voice that I think he, We'll put it this way. The guy never came back. He was a subscriber. Never saw him again. Like, just straight up. That I lost a subscriber that day, but you know what? If that's all it takes to lose that guy as a subscriber, whatever. You know, if you're going to be rude to someone that you're subscribed to, it's like, I appreciate you subscribing to me, obviously. You know, it's money that you have hard earned. You don't owe me it or anything. That was really bad. You don't owe me it or anything, and it's one of the biggest compliments, personally, that someone would do that. But then you're going to call me an idiot. Okay, you know, fine, whatever. I like I say, I probably overreacted, but it's not like I was like, shut the fuck up, you rude little shithead. You know, I didn't do anything like that. I was just like, don't do that. You know, and again, I obviously scared him, and he never came back. But like I say, whatever. At the same time, I did overreact, but... Oh, man. You know, I actually just did this boss. On camera. Didn't have that much trouble. Thank God. We didn't die here on camera. But again, I am rambling, so makes it harder to concentrate. But yeah, so the God of War playthrough was kind of the peak of my depression, as was... I don't remember all the things I was playing at the time, but I know Spider-Man 4 was around that time as well. I think Spider-Man 4, I was only really just starting to come out of the depression, so... It wasn't as bad, but yeah, the Spider-Man 4 playthrough was also not very good. I think I have the key. No, I'm gonna go get that. So yeah, the Spider-Man 4 playthrough was also not very good because of pretty much the exact same reason. I just was very upset. So anyway, to get back to the point I was trying to make, because I feel like I got a little bit stuck on that topic, was I feel like the depression that I went through, because of the negative impacts it had upon my mood and my commentary and, you know, so forth, I feel like it really had some negative impact. Oh, snake. I feel like I had some really negative impact on my channel and my channel growth, and just I feel like there were a lot of viewers that just disappeared around that time, people that were regulars, and they just never came back. Holy mother of fuck. Yeah, so I feel like what happened was there were probably a bunch of people that probably did enjoy my content, and then around that time, because my content essentially went to shit for at least a while, I think they were like, fuck this guy sucks now, and they kind of tapped out and never came back, which is really unfortunate. But there we are. Now, do I think my commentary has recovered since then? Yes, I actually think I'm probably making the best content I've ever made. But that it doesn't change the fact that I do feel like I lost probably a lot of regulars around that time, and I feel like that was probably why, which is really shitty. But there we are. You know, again, I don't blame them, is the thing. It's one of those things where, you know, they didn't know what I was going through. They didn't know it was depression. They probably just thought, man, this guy sucks now. And it is what it is. So, anyway... like I said, I went through sort of two fairly major bouts of depression. Oh my god. I went through sort of two fairly major bouts of depression over probably the past sort of 2 years. One of them was before my ex, and it was actually... well, again, I'm going to keep names out of this, but it was largely to do with my ex before her. You'll notice women have a lot to do with this. So... Yeah, I broke up, sort of, with a girl that at least in terms of our friendship, ended at the time. Now, we're friends again, and again, I'm keeping names out of this. Please don't ask about who it is or anything like that in the comments. Most of you probably know, but there's really no need to... I'm not blaming anyone for this, I want you to know that. Except my ex, actually. I will absolutely blame her, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But, yeah, so her friendship meant a lot to me, and blah, 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 and it just ended very poorly, and yeah, we both sort of did and said things we shouldn't have done, and why am I risking my life here? We both did and said things we shouldn't have done, so, yeah. But anyway, so that was partly why, but also I was just going through one of those phases at the time anyway, where I just was, for some unknown reason, just kind of sad around that time anyway. And that really compounded it. And my ex helped me to get through that. And it meant a lot to me. And, you know, that woman meant the world to me. And I'm talking about my ex now. The short version is we broke up. Now, we broke up because we were in a long-distance relationship. And quite frankly, she essentially just said, like, I can't do it because, essentially, I miss you too much, blah, blah, blah. It's too long of a distance, etc., etc. And here's the thing, I was fine with that. As much as that might sound surprising, I really was. My reaction to that was, it's understandable. I kind of knew that going into the relationship. She thankfully made that fairly clear, like, that maybe she couldn't handle the long distance thing and everything. And, you know, we were together for, like, probably well over a year and a half, something like that. But the reason that I can't stand her now, and that she sent me into this spiral of depression, and she did. I would like to point that out. I don't think it's fair to blame people for depression, things like that, but in this instance, this really was just outright caused by her. Now, I had no problem with her saying, okay, I can't do the relationship. Okay, fair enough. But she just suddenly stopped talking to me pretty much entirely, even though she claimed that she was my, you know, I was still her best friend and that we were best friends, you know, even when we were in a relationship. Like, we kind of were. We were like best friends, you know, which is really how you should be with your girlfriend, ideally. Or your boyfriend, whatever. So, I'm saying a lot. It's because I'm thinking. And also fighting monkeys. The short version is, what happened was she just almost completely stopped contacting me, and there was always some excuse, you know, I'm tired, I'm at work, blah, blah, blah. And when I say contact, I mean, you know, she wouldn't even say good morning or something like that. Like, I'd message her on WhatsApp, be like, hello, how are you? Hope you're okay. How's your day? Or something like that, you know, or just, I'd say, like, good night or something. You know, just something as basic as that. And it would show that she's read this message, and she couldn't even be bothered to just write goodnight, you know, just one word. I don't care how busy you are. You could be Bill fucking Gates. Not that Bill Gates is probably busy, but you know what I'm saying. You could be the busiest person in the world. You can write one word to someone you claim is your best friend. So, the short version is that I lost the woman that I loved as well as my best friend. So to say that it sent me into a spiral of depression is an understatement. You know, it was very, very hard for me. I did a lot of very stupid things. I went to very stupid places, met with shady people, and I'm not going to tell you any more details than that, but did a lot of very dangerous things in a lot of dangerous places. I'm not saying drugs, but I'm saying very dangerous things in and around dangerous people and places. Because I didn't care if I died, frankly. Now, thankfully, like I say, I'm over that. But it took well over a year. And again, this really culminated at its most prominent around the God of War and the Spider-Man playthrough. Those are the two that stick out in my mind where I know I was really, really down. As I've already gone over, I feel like this did significant damage to my channel. I feel like I lost a lot of regular viewers because of this. However, I'm not making this video to tell you, don't be depressed because you'll lose your friends and your viewers and what have you. Quite the opposite. I'm making this video to almost help people explain what depression... help people understand what depression is like. And that sometimes that is the reason for these things. Sometimes people are not themselves because they feel like shit. You know, maybe they're going through something. And again, I'm not blaming those people at all. I've already gone over that. It's just, I want people to understand that depression is a very serious thing that affects a lot of people, and it's something that a lot of people go through it and they just don't talk about it, and it will get better, you know, but some people are prone to it, some more than others. Like I say, thankfully I never get suicidal or anything like that, but I do get very, very down sometimes. I'm absolutely fine right now, thankfully. This is mostly due to my girlfriend. I'm one of those people, and this is not a good thing, I realize that, but this is how I'm built, and hopefully one day it won't be necessary, but I'm one of those people where I almost require to be in a relationship because I don't know, I feel like I need to be with someone, and that's terrible. You should be happy alone. But I'm not. I finally figured out how to kill the friggin' monkey. I hate this double sword wielding bastard. Okay, you just throw firecrackers at him. What a dick. Can't stand him. Yeah, so depression's horrible. Lots of people go through it. And I guess I just wanted to finally talk about this. That yeah, it's something that I do go through from time to time, and sometimes it lasts quite a while, like it did when I lost my ex. Like I say, it took well over, like, we've been broken up now for over a year. It's only been fairly recently, thanks to my girlfriend, that I've really actually come out of that depression. You know, even as close as a few months ago, I was still in that horrible depression, and I just got better at hiding it, I guess, is the reality of the situation. You know, I just kind of put on the happy face to do commentary and stuff like that. Now, in a way, that perhaps helped, you know, because when you're really now, don't misunderstand what I'm saying here, but when you're really trying to at least pretend that you're happy, it sometimes at least puts you in a bit of a better mood. However, people are well within their right to be sad and miserable if they want to be, and let them be, you know? But yeah, so I guess that's about what I really want to talk about. I just wanted to sort of talk about depression, how it's affected me, and it's bad, man. Like, I get days where, you know, the cliche is like, well, I didn't want to get out of bed. I get days where it's not so much a lack of getting out of bed, though I think that's, again, sort of a bit of a cliche, though I'm sure some people literally don't want to get out of bed, but for me, it's like I lose motivation to do everything. So, when it came to my ex, there were things that I was planning to do for her. Now, these are things that I should want to do for myself. But I'm one of those people, I find it much easier to motivate myself for others than I do for myself. So, you know, getting a better job, moving to America to be with her, like, all these different things. And by the way, when I say a long-distance relationship, she did stay with me for well over a month. I stayed with her for a while. Things like that, you know. I saw her when I was in America, even though I wasn't staying with her, but she was a friend of one of the people I was staying with. Yeah, so it's not like we haven't spent a significant amount of time together. She stayed with me for over a month straight. So, you know, all day, every day, we were together for over a month. You know, like I say, I loved this woman, and it was absolutely crushing to my soul to lose her. And now I hate her guts because she tossed me away like I was nothing. And that's the reality of the situation. It wasn't so much that she couldn't handle the lack of a long-distance relationship. It was that she found someone else incredibly quickly who was giving her money for a new car that she wanted, and, you know, it was someone she could have sex with. Like, I know all of this. This is all true. This is not, you know, me just being bitter. I know this. She was just... I was convenient, is the reality. And when I stopped being convenient, she tossed me away. And that is why it hurts so much, you know? Like I said, it wasn't the, oh, I want to break up kind of thing. It was the not even ever messaging me back. You know, except it would take days sometimes. And she'd be like, yeah, I was really busy. And it was like, I'd have to message her days later and be like, why didn't you respond? Like, you okay? So yeah, depression sucks. And thankfully I'm over her now. But my word, did it take a while. When I say over her, I mean over the love and the loss, but I still hate her, and I always will. So yeah, there's a really bitter note for me to end on. Thank you for watching. I don't really know what else to say. Yeah, if you want to share any stories or anything like that, feel free in the comments. If any of you say anything rude to anyone, I will fucking ban you for life. Love you. Goodbye.